Welcome back to Just Africa, the program where we explore bold ideas shaping the continent's growth in its place in the world. Today, or this segment rather, we confront a silent epidemic, tobacco use. As high-income nations tighten regulations, tobacco corporations are aggressively targeting Africa's youthful population and loosening regulatory environments. Now, the cost is devastating and public health crisis, lost productivity and increasing strain on fragile healthcare system. We are asking, how can African governments effectively stand up to the immense power of tobacco industry, safeguard their citizens' health, and protect their policy-making autonomy? This is quite huge. I was just doing some figures here. It's quite interesting. As of 2015, there was a decline to 10% of men, while about lesser than that for women.
Yes.
And it's quite interesting. As of 2022, we had about 3.4 million adult smokers in Nigeria. So it's actually critical. I mean, if you go to bars, lounge, some public places. Yeah. I know there was a time, there was a policy that was made in Lagos banning smoking in public places and all that. But, you know, that didn't do enough. That hasn't, even though at every pack of cigarettes, you see it boldly written, smokers,
World Health Organization warns
smokers are liable to die
young.
It's boldly written there. It's a lot has been done, but still yet, well. But it's quite interesting that we are discussing this today. So joining us today, joining us on Just Africa today is a special guest to dissect this critical battle is Anjuola Fatuase, a tobacco control expert and public health advocate at Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa. That's CAPPA. So glad to have you, Anjuola Fatuase. I hope I got that name correct.
Yes, you did. Thank you. Thank you for having me here on this.
All right, so let's get on. Let's start off to what is a lot of people, maybe some people, yes, it's boldly written everywhere that tobacco smoking is dangerous to health, or smokers are liable to die young. Now, from your own perspective, give us a brief history, not history, break it down for us in clear times. Don't sugarcoat it. What risk do tobacco smokers, what are they open to?
Okay. So I'll just go straight to your questions. What are the risk factors of tobacco use? Tobacco use, as we know, or as I would like to say, is that product that if used as the manufacturer wants it to use it, half of its users are going to die, which is, does it have any benefits? No. Is there any health effect of it? No. Is there anything you can gain from it? No. So if this product is this deadly, why do you use it? And it takes me to this part of this conversation, which says, why are those who are behind this still behind it for the profit and not for the health of those? And we like to call those who use those product victims, and they are not, we don't want to say smokers, because they're actually targeted. And going back to your question, which is what's the dangers? Tobacco use, nicotine, and the end product of this has been linked to a lot of cancers of the mouth, of the lungs. Recently, we had World Lungs Day, we have a World Heart Day. And I remember a friend, a medical doctor, she said when she's in school and they ask you like, oh, what can be the cause? The first thing they say, predisposing factor, what can lead to this, is tobacco use. So tobacco is linked to a lot of things. But just to say in a few, cancer, aging, for men, sexual infertility, for different things. It's linked to a lot of things. A lot of carcinogen, cancer-causing chemicals are in those products. And why would we want to have those things in our body in the first place that has no benefit to us? So just in a few, it's so deadly, and we can't just overreiterate what the dangers and damages that this thing can cause to our body. Thank you.
All right. Now, shortly now, you said that these smokers, they are vulnerable. The words you used is they are targeted. So it brings me to my next question. What specific tactics are tobacco companies using to aggressively target Africa's youth?
Okay, so I will take this from another perspective. When you do branding, there are a lot of things that are involved. And I will also want to narrow this down to Nigeria and give us like a bit of example. And I don't want to mention brand names, but you will notice that when you see something, the more you see, the more you remember. There's a way your brain works psychologically. And in Nigeria, thanks for good policies that we have, back in the 80s, tobacco industry used to advertise, but you notice you don't see those things again due to strong policies. So I'll use on that. Maybe there's a favorite food you like or a snack that you like, and you are going around your area, you saw a billboard with that advert, and maybe you got home in the evening and you are looking at your news and you saw that advert pop up. You won't be surprised by the next time you are going to get food. That's the same thing you want to order. That's psychological, but you think you are the one making the decision, but that thing has been imprinted in your mind one way or the other. And that's what the tobacco industry do. So let me give an example. There's this thing we call TAPS, Tobacco Advertisement, Promotion, and Sponsorship. And how does this work? The industry where they are not allowed to, the law says they are not supposed to do adverts. They use the CSRs, corporate social responsibilities, to put themselves in good light. I can give examples on and on what they do. Or they do placement of their product in movies, in musical videos. So you technically see a movie you are watching, and next thing you see an actor smoking. And maybe it doesn't mean anything. And before you know, it might not even smoke. You will see a branded product, maybe a dustbin, a something branded with a particular brand, just not to mention names. And you will now see camera will just pan to that place. What was that panning for? Was it necessary? And sometimes those people will not even actually smoke, they will just hold it. But those are ways the tobacco, and before you know, a kid who is watching that psychologically sees that, oh, okay, an actor is using this. It means if I want to be an actor, I have to do like this. Or musical video, you see your favorite celebrity smoking. Before you know, you feel like, oh, if this is associated with being fancy, being woke, that's what you will do. And before you know, it's imprinting in those people's mind. For example, you see an elderly person smoking, and you, as a young person, would descend to smoke. Those are little ways those things leave things in the mind of those people. Like I said, it's targeted. It looks as if you are the one making the decision, but where you know you are not the one making the decision is when the addiction comes in. You can say you are the one starting, but actually, can you say you want to stop when you want to stop? And that's when you know you're addicted to something. So it's a lot of chain of thought and things where they are not like to advertise. They look for subtle ways to advertise, use celebrities, make them hold things, make them do things, flash those things. And you know how impressionable young people are. You see celebrity driving cars, oh, I want to have this car. You see them wearing this dress, I want to have this dress. You see them doing this. So it has been like that from ages past. There was a time in this country that maybe when you work in some certain sectors, even to the medical, to the newsroom, if you don't hold smoke, it looks like a sense of, we did an article on that one, that it used to believe like a sense of creativity, that without the smoke, you've not tapped into that realm of where you get creativity. And same with these things. It feels like if you don't take those things, and I would like to go back. There was a time too when women did not smoke, but knowing that women, gender, and the likes of freedom and making women being able to speak for themselves, there was a time the tobacco industry looked at linking that with freedom. And you know, everybody will easily jump, oh, I can do what I want to do. I'm a woman, I'm feminine. Let me express myself. And that was the hook they used. And today you see that women, even though we'll get to that part which says, where we talk about how it's actually decreasing, but there's a lot of gimmicks from the industry on targeting people, which takes me back that these people that we call smokers are actually victims. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for everything you've said so far. Okay, so these days, you, like you rightly said, we no longer see people holding a stick or cigarette on the streets, or maybe when you go to the bar, very few people are smoking. Or some bars, these days, they even write it boldly, no smoking in this area. But you will also agree with me that it is gradually moving from that tradition to the e-cigarette, vaping. People now think that, yes, I don't want to be seen with that, but I can do the vaping is just to inhale the smoke and all that. What do you think about the rebranding of public smoking right now, that we're not moving all the tobacco thing? I don't like the way my mouth is smelling, I don't do this. And the new generation, the younger generation, are gradually doing the vaping or the e-cigarettes, however I want to call it. Why is the society not talking so much about it right now?
Thank you very much. Like I said, this is targeted. We are under attack. Let me just put it that way. We are under attack by a corporation who knows what they are doing, who are actually taking profit over health. And I was going to say, looking at a recent report that was released by WHO on prevalence of smoking, smoking has actually dropped. Or tobacco, let me put it as tobacco use has dropped. And for somebody who is in it for money, what do you expect? They will switch tactics. Now you see some of this tobacco industry putting it on their websites, on their programs, that, oh, we know that what we're peddling, which they actually stated initially that was not harmful, they are now agreeing to it that these things are actually harmful. And oh, okay, we know. So we are coming up with better alternatives, safer alternatives, harm reduction. You might be hearing that narrative. All those narratives are still from that same person. And what do? They flavor this product. So let's use shisha, for example. A shisha that you see, oh, they'll say, I don't smoke, I don't even like the smell. But the shisha you are smoking, do you know, is also equal to almost like a pack of cigarettes after one session or two sessions. So what's the harm in it? And I used to give an example. Yes, it's flavored. Maybe you're supposed to have, like, the person's supposed to die maybe in 10 years, or you're supposed to have this in 10 years. Now they reduce it, maybe to take you like 50 years. But does it reduce the harm? No. And I like this very good example. Somebody gave you like a poison that use 2 spoons, and the person will, or something will die immediately. Then take it like maybe 1 drop at a time. Does it still reduce that the person will not die from that poison? It will. It's just that maybe the time is the factor. And like you said, why are people not talking about it? And which is why we have to also speak about it, which is why we are here. This is why we are doing all this, to talk about it. A lot of people don't know the dangers in these things. The industry itself, they try to blow that part of their fact. Like the cigarettes, the traditional cigarette itself, initially, it used to have smokers. I think the Federal Ministry of Health, smoking is bad or something. Then later, it's due to regulations, it turned to smokers are liable to die young. Now we have graphic health warning on them stating what those things are, which the industry always push back. Anytime you ask them to say the truth about what these things actually contain, they will say, no, you are spoiling market for us. This one, that one. And we are also getting to that, which is going to take me to the answer to this. We have to be proactive. A country like Brazil, I think in 2012, started making plans to make regulations on flavored products. I think we should not be playing catch up with the industry. We should way ahead of them. This year, in June or July, Kenya banned the importation of this product, flavored tobacco product, because they saw it was doing. You should know that it's not just only Nigeria that's affected, it's everywhere. And when you see these things, you can easily pass them by, not knowing that they are this product. They look so fancy. Some look like pen. They have different names. We have ENDS, which is electronic nicotine delivery system. We have HTPs, which is heated tobacco products. And all these things, they are all just the same, just branding, rebranding. And sometimes the industry will say, oh, these things is for people that want to quit. So don't do them. We are saying treat them the way you would treat every normal tobacco product. The Nigerian Tobacco, yes, the National Tobacco Control Act of 2015 and the National Tobacco Control Act of 2019, Section 15, if I'm not wrong, says you are not supposed to sell to a minor. Anybody below the age of subsection 1 says you are not supposed to sell to a minor. And there are restrictions on these things. Treat this product as they should be. They should be banned. Children are not supposed to have access to them. They are not supposed to be within their purview. I was talking to a friend recently, I think in Pakistan, and she was saying, yes, they will say they even have restrictions. Once you go on their website and you want to buy, and you ask your age, they will just, are you 18? And you say no, it will just refresh you back. So if you come back and put you at 19 or you are higher, it opens up. So what's that? It means this person is still trying to sell to you. And if you are saying it's for people you want to quit, it should be under strict medical description. It's not something you should be able to get anywhere. And why are you even addicted? Some people that have not smoked before, this is the gateway. Like I said, addiction is when you think you have the freedom to start, but when you want to stop. So is it not even possible not to be addicted to anything? The industry will say no, we are doing this. So like I said, we have a long way to go, yes, but we are not stopping. Sensitization, strengthening our laws. Like I said, like the National Tobacco Control Act, those regulations should be enforced stringently on these products. They should be treated like every normal tobacco product. They should carry graphic health warning. They should say what they actually do. They should not be exposed. Minors should not be exposed to these things. Radius, like an 100-meter radius of schools and public places, you should not be allowed to smoke them. Yes. So that's my take on this. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Now, when you look at tobacco companies in America and Europe, the laws there has restricted these companies to some level. The sales, the consumption, their laws there have reduced their effect on their citizens. So right now, they target the African continent as their next gold mine. And just as you rightly said, there are laws, or laws should be put in place. But you also agree with me that there are existing laws that are in place right now by the Nigerian government and other African countries. They have laws against this thing. So what is actually the problem? Is it that the policies, the laws are not strict enough, or do we need stricter laws, or we need to bring in something stronger than that to reduce the access to some of these products?
Yes, so you've rightly said what needs to be done. I used to say this, that Nigeria is not short of brains, we are not short of laws. Sometimes it's just proper implementation. A law is as good as how well it is being implemented. Yes, there are some loopholes in our laws that we also have to work on. The current law does not clearly cover some of these emerging products, which is why we are asking that these laws should be made stronger. But the overriding fact of this is that the health of your citizens is important. So whatever comes over profit should not come over health. So like I said, let's do everything in our power, the legislature, individuals, and I could go into what's the WHO's framework convention, FCTC's, what it recommends, which is the Empower, and how this can be used effectively to cover these things. But like I said, a strong law, implementation, enforcement these laws can't stand in isolation. We might have the law and it might not be going. Yes, there are a lot of factors that also leads to this. The tobacco industry itself, it's a big factor because they lobby, they do a lot of things. I can go on and on. Nigeria ratified that WHO framework convention in 2025, 2026, but we did not have our own law until 2015 due to some factors, interference. Currently, Zambia, a country too, have been trying to pass their tobacco control law, but for some reasons, the industry too are either stalling or something. So, like I said, this is we're under attack. You enter meetings and you see them there. Like if let's say you are making laws on malaria will probably not be in the room to defend itself. But this product that actually killing people, they will come there, they will tell you reasons why you should not regulate them, that you are spoiling business. But why will you want to do this over the health of citizens? These things have no medical benefit, no benefit at all to the users. So why should it be allowed in the first place? But like I said, we need stronger laws, we need stronger regulations to regulate this. And one of the ones I said is outright ban or sales to minor. Then if it's going to even be used for medical reasons, it should be strictly, mark the word, strictly under medical prescriptions. It should not be something that you can get anywhere. And they should also be treated like every traditional tobacco product. They should be labeled, they should have restrictions, they should be taxed. Everything that happens to the normal tobacco product should happen to this product. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Anjuola. But let's look at the stakeholders, because whether we like it or not, these tobacco companies, they generate some form of income for the economy. So I want us to look at the most effective tax structure for African governments to cut consumption of tobacco while also raising revenue. How can we balance this?
Thank you very much. Just to say something, like I said, there's no benefit to this. If something does not have benefit and it's having a detrimental effect on your health, which one will you pick? Will you pick the funds over the health of the people? And let's say somebody who is down with cancer, diabetes, the cost of treating those people compared to what these people are making, can you just oppose both? Which is better, a good health over having more money? And at the end of the day, the money you are even saying we can get it from other sources if we rechannel this product to maybe other agricultural product. And so, like I said, these are narratives from the industry saying, oh, we bring this to the, if you tighten these laws, they will adapt. They will tell you so many workers are losing. These are just things they say. It doesn't in any way affect the economy as they used to make that sound. But now to your question, what can we do? Taxes are actually a good way, which is one of the provisions of the Empower, the last one, which is our raising of tax. And for me, I would say those taxes should be progressive. We have taxes on tobacco in Nigeria, but you will notice that sometimes some people may even ask you to buy some things in Nigeria, just like the other. The question was asked recently about how Nigeria is, what our laws look like, and some other countries have stronger laws. Some of these products are way, way expensive in other places. Not only tobacco, just to give example, there are sometimes that people outside the country will say, oh, please, let me to buy this in Nigeria. Let me to buy that in Nigeria because it's cheaper here. If these products are properly taxed, they won't be sending you. When you have to buy one for like $10, $10 is like maybe 15K now in Nigeria. That's a whooping sum for somebody who will probably want to smoke even in Nigeria. You know that this thing has no benefit to you. You probably either switch or say, oh, I'm stopping because I can use this money for something else rather than that. Is it going to affect? It's a win-win situation. The increasing of the tax of these products, because sometimes when we even think that you are increasing the tax, the industry are absorbing those tax. It does not get to the final consumer. What are these tax called? These tax are called sin tax. So it's not a religion. When you hear sin, maybe not. But what that tax means is that these are products that has no health benefits to you, to the users at the end of the day. And knowing that these products are actually legal, you can actually say, oh, stop. The best way to do is to curb them by increasing their tax and making them progressive. WHO recommends 70% increased tax, so that in Nigeria today, the price of a pack of cigarettes is probably around 1,000 to 2,000. Which some people can easily buy. How much is that? But if you are going to buy, you know that, oh, you have to dig and into your pocket. That money can probably be used for. So that way, psychologically, you are refraining people from doing those things without actually making the economy so hard and so stringent on them. But like I said, the best way is progressive tax, which makes sure at the end of the day, this money can be channeled into the healthcare sector, can be used for a lot of other things, where people are getting better, people are dropping this product. And the tobacco industry, like he said, if they claim that they actually can be in the economy, it's a win-win for everybody. But the overall win for us is the health of everybody. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. You talked about sin taxes. The government has actually done a lot. I mean, increasing taxes, advertising bans, public place bans, graphical warning labels. They've done a whole lot. But let's not also forget that the stakeholders also, they're employers of labor. They employ a lot of people who are able to fend for themselves and fend for their families. So it's quite dicey. If we're looking at health, we're also looking at the economy. We're also looking at how to balance, the labor force. So how do you think the government can come in? What advice would you give to the government at this point? Outright, they've done every other thing, possibly. Maybe there are still more things they need to do, but they've done every other thing that is needed to be done. So how would you advise the government at this point?
So let me just explain, and I've said this, I'll just reiterate it. The industry, ask them to provide how many people are actually employed. Like I said, these are narratives from the industry. How many people are there? Most of these things are automated. You could see there are machines that runs these things. Maybe just one person to a machine that runs like 1,000 cigarettes, and they are telling you like this is what we are employer of labor. These are the labor people. Like at the end of the okay, let me give you another example. Do you know that tobacco farmers are exposed to green sickness? These are chemicals that they get contaminated due to the when you're exposed to tobacco. So that's hazard from even doing that work. But they tell you like, oh, ask them how many people do they employ compared to other industries in Nigeria, maybe the banking sector and every other sector and every other. Ask them that how many of they should, and you weigh that, like I said, health over wealth. You are saying they had, okay, when you ask how much do they add to the economy compared to the amount that I spent. Also, when you want to make profit, what's for a country as a whole, what's the definition of profit? That's when you've made over. But when that money you are making is not even enough to cater for the health of your citizens. Like I said, when we have this kind of argument, just place health first, then place the profit. Does it weigh? Can you weigh it in that substance? But most times those arguments don't hold weight. Like I said, ask the industry, let them provide how many people are employed. When they even say it, they will tell you that, oh, maybe down to the retailers and wholesalers. But those same retailers they tell you about, those people are also selling other things. That's not the only thing they are selling. That's just one out of. So they will tell you that we have 1,000 in Nigeria. By 1,000, maybe it's only 100 that is actually working in the factory. It's the retailers and that they had, but those people actually, it's not only tobacco that they retail, they have other products. And if those things leave, they won't stop selling. People will switch to other things. Like I said, these are narratives by the industry saying, oh, we have the economy. And sometimes I won't lie, willpower too is a lot of things. Some government will say, oh, this is not the issue at hand. But at the end of the day, health over profits is what I will end with.
All right, Anjuola, you asked the question in between your statement, so let me just reply that. I just found out. I don't want to. The British American Tobacco has about 48,000 people under its employment. So, what would you say about 48,000 people?
Yes, I said that 48. When you ask for the analysis of that 48, they will most likely add retailers to them. 48 compared to the numbers of Nigeria, compared 48,000 to the, look at the grand figure. So when we play with figures, let's also be careful with number of figures. It's also a mind game with figures. People give you numbers, but when you look at it, to what ratio, to what extent? So I don't want to just put you to our time, but when you talk about numbers, it's a very dicey game. I can easily come here and mention WHO, mention 8, but to what extent? What are you comparing that figure with? 48,000 to the numbers of Nigerians, and like it gives some static examples. They will probably add people that are doing other things to this. We've had other industry laid off people and other things. These are just arguments from the industry. I hope I've been able to provide clarity to what you just said.
All right, thank you very much. Well, thank you for answering that question. Okay, so I want to take you back a little. You talk about, or rather we talked about the ban on advertisement of tobacco and nicotine. We've talked about government going against it, World Health Organization talking about it. And these people are not taking advantage of music videos and, of course, movies. Now, the Nigerian Video and Film Censors Board, do you think they have a role to play here under the leadership of Dr. Hussaini? So, what do you think they need to do? Should we keep banning all movies that comes with smoking and drinking and all that? What role do you think they have to play, Nigeria Film and Video Censors Board?
Okay, thank you for that question. And the executive director of the National Film and Video Censors Board himself, who I know and who I know is a very hardworking man. Last year, the agency passed a regulation which we call the Smoke-Free Nollywood Regulation, which is a regulation of the agency. And what does that regulation speaks about? It speaks to some of these things that you've just asked. Should we now ban smoking in movies? Should we do? The law is the law. The law has clearly stated how these things should be treated. Like I said, the industry, knowing that they can't do public adverts in Nigeria, resorts to this product. I could give names of people who actually don't smoke, and you see their musical videos where they're actually flashing it. If you are going to go deep down, the popular American movie actor that played Rambo later collected a whooping sum of 500,000 USD to make sure he smoked in movies. So we won't be surprised if that's the same thing that is happening in Nigeria. But what does the law say? So the law has already laid out some requirements on what should be done. If this product should not be glamorized, quote and unquote, either or glamorization. And that is what they are playing on. When you glamorize it, for example, somebody is in a bad state And the next thing you want to portray is, oh, I'm not in a good mood. I have to smoke. I have to vape. I have to do this. I'm so happy. I go to the club, I still go and smoke. I'm in between, I'm having a normal day smoking. Subconsciously, why are you telling people watching? It feels like the norm. You were saying it like before. Now, if you go outside now, an average Nigerian will tell you like smoking cigarettes is bad because that's what the cultural norm. It plays with a lot of culture, mindset, and shifting a lot of things that comes to this. And these people we are dealing with knows what they are doing. So as I was saying, what does the law of the regulation of the National Film and Video Censors Board says? It says that if you are going to, for any reason, display the use of tobacco or tobacco product in any movie or work of art, make sure that it is not sponsored by a tobacco industry because that's an infringement of the law. Once you are sponsored and it's you are breaking the law. So if for any reason you don't have to even use it, to make sure that you state that you are not being sponsored by the industry. Also, on the scene where you are using it, put an health warning that any of the health warnings prescribed upon maybe smokers are liable to die young, just to show that you are not glamorizing this. Another part of that law says that for historical accuracy, so there is a tendency that you might want to portray the lifestyle of somebody like Fela Anikulapo, and there's no way you portray it. So for historical accuracy, you have to still smoke or depict a smoking scene in that movie. But like I said, there should be health warning. And like I late last year, I came across a clip on YouTube that was saying that it was a Nigerian movie, and towards a scene where one of the actors was smoking, it was boldly written under that scene, smokers are liable to die young. That's what we are saying. So we are not, the law is not restricting, National Film and Video Censors Board is not restricting art or in any way. It's just to make sure that these narratives are properly given. Let me give an example. Like the movie John Wick, as much as for those who have seen John Wick, John Wick is like an hero, a very strong person. But in no way in John Wick you could check, did you see that actor smoking? So we can be creative by doing a lot of things without actually putting those things in the scene. And like I said, these things are subconscious. They go to the mind. They do a lot of things. They do a lot of things in our mind. And yes, these
Thank
people
you so much. Thank you so much. Now, when we talk about tobacco and nicotine marketing, we really talk about women and teenage girls who are becoming addicts of these products. Do you think that these companies, knowing fully well that, yes, the attention has been so much on men, and so the attention is gradually shifting from men to women, what is your take on that?
and I've been saying this and I'll keep saying it. This is a target. You leave the traditional tobacco product that's been linked to a lot of things. You now say now, oh, these are flavors. They don't have anything in them. They are just they are less harmful. Like I said, when you hear the word less harmful, harm reduction, know that these are just words. And this targeting the young, they are called replacement. So there's this thing we say that when we started today, I said if this product has used as prescribed by the users, by the manufacturers, half of their customers will be dead. When you now know that you are losing out, what do you do to that? You bring in a new set of people, which is basically what is happening. Flavoring them, giving them new names, giving them a lot of things, and yeah, that's just so they are basically targeting them, asking them that, oh, don't worry, we even know that those ones are bad, these ones are not bad, they are less, don't worry, take it, you feel cool, feel fancy, this is the new norm, this is the new cool. And those are the strategies that the industry are using to target both women, men, young guys. They will tell you it's for people that want to smoke. It's not. These things are, you will even see young people 13, 14. It's even so bad in some areas that you see like very young people doing these things, and they will tell you, I don't smoke, I vape. What's the difference? Yes, they will say maybe, but what's the difference? It's still the same arm.
Thank you very much, Anjuola Fatuase. Thank you for your powerful thoughts. Thank you for joining Just Africa today.
Thank you. Thank you. So I would just like to say this. I know you were giving a statistics. I'll just cross check. I could say that what's it called? The British American tobacco or the tobacco industry, like you said the other time, are like close to to 40,000 don't have up to 700 workers in Nigeria. We could give it a try and check. Like I said, these things are games of number. They'll just tell you this number, but in the real sense, when you ask them how many of their staffs do these things, it won't be up to that figure you just quoted.
Thank you very much for that, Angela. Yeah. It was a very powerful discussion. I really enjoyed it. Of course, we would have you one more time again, join us on Just Africa to discuss.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Welcome. Quite interesting topic and banter we had there about tobacco control. And, it's quite interesting how he painted a very vivid picture of how, yes, they don't do outright advertisement, but they have a way of, putting it in movies, music videos, and there's some conscious mind that it's just there, it's registered there. He also said, yes, there's a ban on children buying cigarettes.
Underage, yes.
Underage children. But sometimes you see some of these older folks, they send young children to go buy cigarettes from the local malam or from the local small kiosk. I mean, how do we even curtail that? That's some of the things we also, so it's not just for children, it's for those who are selling it.
Yes.
So if a young child comes to meet you to say, I want to buy so, I'll be sent. You tell that child that
go tell the adult.
Go tell the adult if he wants to come and get this, he should come by himself, not send you. That this is wrong.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the things we need to, put out there. Now, tobacco isn't just smoke. It's a symbol of choices between profit and people, silence and accountability. As Africa's population grows younger, the decision we make today will determine whether we will inherit a generation addicted or a generation aware. I am Olumide Shokoya. See you tomorrow as we continue to ask big questions shaping Africa's future.
And I am Omevi Idolo. I want to say we should keep prioritizing our health more than profit. Thank you very much for joining us on the show.